YouTube, Danny Staten here on the Daily Dan Blog. I'm back with another comic book review. That's right. I'm taking a look at some horror comics. Some horror comics from 2018. It's number 33. It's a really cool comic book series that goes back and pulls all those classic comic books from the late 40s, 50s, and early 60s. And they put all those comic books in one gigantic series, picking the best stories to present to you. And today, I'm going to present number 33 and some really cool stories for you to check out. But first, let me give a shout out to my friend Bigfoot, Michigan Rob, True Cryptid Encounters. Book 1 came out last year. It was awesome. Book 2's out now, and I just started checking it out. First couple of stories made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Everybody be sure to check out Bigfoot, Michigan Rob at True Cryptid Encounters for the real monster stories. Today, I'm giving you the fiction. It will be interesting to find out if Thrash Pondo Pines, the one who saved every one of us, thinks this comic book is worth keeping. I think it's worth keeping. I think Dave Sunstorm and his brother Steven's going to like it. I don't know about Pat. He's a little more retro than comic books, but let's bust it open, have a look inside, and see what nightmares this comic book in stores for us. Hey, and we get a really cool bonus, and that's the little bonus right there. Forlock the Warlock, as I like to call him, the incomparable Dr. Wu. Yeah, when I first opened up this book, I saw Forlock the Warlock. I got all into reading about Forlock the Warlock, how Forlock the Warlock hosted all these little horror stories back in the day. And I was going to, like, every time I see Forlock the Warlock, I'm going to be calling that boy Dr. Wu. You got to admit now, come on. Does this not look like Dr. Wu? Robert T. Woods. I saw this, and it gave me a Woody. Because I thought I was going to get the crack on him the whole time. I was sadly mistaken. But you got to admit, that is some really cool Dr. Wu art. As we bust up in the first story, we're going to learn about the Skeletons of Gibbet. Skeletons of Gibbet. Anyway, this guy who's the monster some money, and he's getting slapped around. Don't look like in the preview scene, this is going to work out too good for this goof. This is from The Unseen, number 14, April 1954. I'm not Rocco, Minnesota Pines. What the heck is that? I Googled Rocco, Minnesota Pines, and right there is an old comic book company I did not even know existed to put out Erie. Anyway, this is all Johnny Boots tense. He's all freaking out. He needs money. He needs it bad. If he don't pay these people, it's going to be his end. So he take a stick and he knock his old lady on the head, take her out and put her in the car, shoved his old lady off a cliff. Flash forward a few weeks later, he's getting a big insurance check for her tragic accident. And let me point out that this comic book is even pressed and published in old school panels. The panels are lovely, just like they were in the late 40s and early 50s. There's no glare. They didn't even put them on the slick, shiny comic book paper. No, they published it on the old comic book paper. Inside this comic book, I feel as though I'm taking a trip through time. A trip through time back to when comic books were cool. Anyway, they get a big argument. I don't guess he got enough money whacking the old lady, and they have a big fight, and he breaks camp. Now he's wearing sunglasses looking like Johnny Boots on the set of a gangster movie. When he starts getting showed up by his old lady, it's right, his old lady goes to showed up going, "I want my cake. I want my cake. It's my birthday, and I want my cake." No, I'm just kidding. I had to throw a creep show reference in this nightmare story. Anyway, dude goes around telling people he saw a ghost. Nobody believes him. He's freaking out. He's bugging out as he heads down the stairs to check out a knock. Spiders from Mars. They're tormenting me. Everywhere I look, I see giant, evil spiders. You can check them videos out here on the Daily Dan Blog. Oh, God, I saw a spider. I got to pause it for a minute and scream. That's right. Today, Dan's been having some spider issues this week. You can see the videos. Anyway, so he goes downstairs and he is to see what the knocking sound was, where he experiences the ghost of his wife and all her funky friends looking like the Crypt Keeper 5 over here. They torment him. They freak him out as a rope swings from the sky above out of nowhere, lynching him. Mention him to the top of the roof. As his friends come down to check on the disturbance, they find dude hanging by the neck. The ghost have took him out. The end of Johnny Boots. It's the life and sad ending of Johnny Boots. You should check out the Life and Sad Ending channel to find out what happens to Johnny Boots in real life. Step into my parlor. Said the spider to the old fly right there, boy. You know, I should have known my ex-wife was going to show up in one of these comic books one day. Hey, this is from Weird Tales number 8, November 1953. All Twerks Comic Media. I suppose that's another comic book company that's defunct now. All Twerks. I kind of expected a little different material from All Twerks. I can make some real good jokes, but I'm not. So Bobby and Clyde here, they are robbers. They robbed some people. They're being chased by the police. Woo, woo, woo. They head off a side alley, give the police the duck. They head over to the apartment to split up the loot. Boy, they're all happy because they are successful criminals in the modern age. After splitting up the dough, the guys decide to go out and get a little booty. They're going to go looking for Broomhilda and her crew. They find, I'm not going to say her name and insult her, but they find Fugly over here. Fugly and the girls are hanging out with the gangsters. Fugly and the girl getting tight with the gangsters. Poor old Clyde, he meets Angel. That's right, my overweight ex. She's floating around doing her usual thing, enticing men to their doom. I know that's how it worked out for me. Angel done put them old boys up in the cage. Hey, Angel, what are you doing? Angel says, I'm about to cook you up, meet you, because I'm an evil, mean, nasty, pathetic witch from the other side of darkness. Yeah, well, dude says, I got a gun, bang, 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 and shoots the old witch. What? I wish I'd have had my guns back then. I never thought about that. I was afraid I'd go to jail. But of course, right when he shoots her, giant snakes come from the roof and choke the men to death. Don't you just love the happy endings in these comic books? Oh my God. Forgive me if I seem to roll a little bit quicker through these stories than normal. This is one thick comic book. It's got quite a few stories in them. None of them great, but at least it's got more than one. And now we get Tank of Corpses. You can tell by the title, Tank of Corpses, what we're going to get here is basic. You're going to get a tank full of corpses. Oh, God. Anyway, it's Witch's Tale, number 9 from 1953. We're going to talk about 1952. We're talking about them tale of corpses right here. Anyway, in this old tale of Tank of Corpses, we find that the corpses are being prepared. They're trying to reanimate these suckers. That always works out good. Hey, I saw some other reanimator movies that didn't work out real good. We're checking them corpses in the tank one after another, watching them change, watching them derange. And, of course, you get your wish when you're trying to reanimate the dead. Them dead usually come back. They starting to walk. They starting to talk. They turning all ghastly and ghostly looking with their ribs hanging out to the side. People are strolling down the street headed off to have a drink, not realizing that the evil corpses are walking the streets like Night of the Living Dead out there, boys and girls. Well, them corpses turned into some ghastly ghouls right there. Look at the faces on them monsters. Anyway, they creep around there attacking everybody. They even grab the old girl and her scientist boyfriend over there and eat them up. Other people are just now arriving back from the party. They find ghouls and ghosts coming down the bridge at them. They jump for their life into the water. Into the dark water. But when the scientists return over to the lab, he looked down and he sees the bodies are still there. And it turns out that they're just interdimensional ghosts. They're like ghosts. They're not really the bodies. But all the other bodies are young again. And now we flash forward to Eerie number 9. Eerie number 9. I like them Eerie comic books. I think I got a couple of them. This is from October through November 1952 by Joe Kubert, Avon Comics. Avon Comics. It used to be some Avon products. I wonder if Avon Company actually put out comic books too. I'll have to look that up as we find out the sad life and death of Sonny Bono. Death on skis. Oh, I shouldn't have cracked that joke. Place Pondo Puns will leave a comment on that one, I bet you. Because I cracked on Sonny Bono. It's been long enough. Come on, that even looked like a Sonny Bono right there being all death on skis, don't it? Anyway, well, you know what happens when you ride skis down the side of a mountain at 90 miles an hour, don't you? You smack a tree and you wind up being one of the X-Men, apparently. Anyway, Sonny Bono's ghost is haunting the other skiers. What was that? I died on the ski lane. So apparently Sonny Bono's ghost showed up and started tormenting skiers, but luckily one of the X-Men was on vacation over there, come over there and kick Sonny's ghost back to the dark side, and people watching in the mirror went, "What? What just happened?" Because people were watching in the mirror. The end. I'm glad that was a short story so I didn't have to kick Sonny Bono's ghost around the page too long. And now, Secret Mysteries, number 17 from March 1954 by Merritt Comics. This one is a special. We do not know who drew it. We don't know the creator because it's so crappy. He wants to keep his stuff secret. Now we have a tale called Out of This World, featuring a Spanish Dracula ripoff magician. That's right. He's a ghost of a magic man. And the magic man tell you on card tricks, you can become a magician like me, and I will help you from the other side. You will be the greatest magician of all time. Card tricks run off and hot dolly stuff and bought magic items. As the ghost watched. You know, I really need to read ahead in these comic books, don't I? I read this story earlier, and it's like Mandela effectively changed. It's different than when I read it earlier. Maybe I'm just in a little better condition now. Anyway, he's doing that astral projection thing, telling this guy to do that stuff. He ain't all dead and ghostly. But that's right, he's a mentalist. He's got the powers. He's taking over things. He's reading people's minds. He's doing magic tricks. He's taking on young card tricks as an apprentice, teaching him all his deadly magical arts. Oh, God. He's teaching young card tricks. He's teaching young card tricks his card tricks. And that's when card tricks breaks the news to him. You know, I'm not really wanting to be no magician or nothing. I'm just a reporter trying to debunk your magic. And he's still doubtful. He's still doubtful because he published a story that make the magician mad. It makes him ill. The magician's biting off the crowds who want their money back for his crappy tricks. Card Tricks goes on in there and talks to the editor, who's not real happy with his last article. So magician says, "Hey, Card Tricks, you think you got me? You think I'm all fake? Watch this." He take him out to the side and he says, "Watch this." And a spiritual head appears and talks to young Card Tricks and tells him that he was for real. Card Trick go back to the editor and tells him he might be wrong. He's gonna have to report. Don't publish that story just yet. Let me go check on some stuff. He goes back and he meets the old magician at the cemetery. Card Tricks and the old magician have a leisurely walk through the cemetery. The magician points over to a grave where you see a ghostly apparition. As Card Tricks walked over and took a look, he found a tombstone where the old master, the old magician, had died 20 years before. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. At that time, the old magician's son sews up to lay a wreath, and Card Tricks learns that the magician's been dead for years and years and years, and he bestows on Card Tricks the death mask of proof to prove the magician was no more. Now, I don't remember that story because it was just so crappy. Actually, I kind of love this comic book. It's hard to criticize it too much, especially because it's got Dr. Wu on the cover. And any comic book that's got Dr. Wu, Robert T. Wood on the cover, has got to be a cool book right there. Speaking of cool people, let me talk about my friend Thrash, Pondo Pons, my partner in crime. You can see us every other Sunday on his channel, Sarah's channel, and probably on my channel, the Daily Dan Blog, right here, broadcasting our little live show talking about horror stuff this Halloween. Be sure to check us out. My Splock Sarah does a wonderful job producing the show. Moving right along to Dave Sunstorm and Steven Sunstorm, his incredible brother, the Good Stuff Brothers, here on YouTube. Be sure to check them guys out. They've got some really great content, as well as my friend Pat McCormick at the Golden Rage of TV, right here on YouTube, putting out some incredible interviews with the nostalgic characters of the past. I gotta do the shout outs, and I always start with BK on the Air. Be sure to check out BK on the Air. Big Guys 45's Corey's Comedy Channel. We love CCC. Motherfuckers everywhere, Sarah, the Nostalgic Pod. Blast! Just like Chance. I love that guy. He's so cool. Retro Nerd Girl, Brainbenders, Banner, Chrissy. AAP for life. Check out AAP Homestead. The Unapologetic Geek and Harold the Hatter. And a special shout out to Eric Woods, Gypsy Road, Paranormal Highway. The world misses you, dude. The world misses you. And now we're going to break out some Chillin' Tales, number 16, June 1953, by Steve Kurkel. Youthful? He must have been a young man when he wrote it. And we're going to be taking a look at The Creeping Hand. You know, they might have made a movie about a creeping hand. That took me right back a second right there. I said, darn, that looked like Becky Lynch. Yeah, that's right. We're just going to call her Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is a cheating skank. Becky Lynch is cheating on her husband. We know because he's watching from outside a New York nightclub. Maybe I should have used some New York people's names in this comic book. Anyway, dude's all upset. Dude's all freaking out. His wife's cheating. So, of course, he goes and talks to the devil about it. And the devil gives him the old creeping hand. That's right. Creeping hand will do your bidding. So right off the rip, I don't like this story neither. It don't explain how old devil wizard guy shows up and gives guy creeping hand for his vengeance just out of the blue. What kind of person shows up, gives a guy an old creeping dead hand thing to run around and do his bidding for him? What kind of person? Wah, wah, wah. Bald-headed? With a beard? Robert T. Wood! Dr. Wu. I should have known the dastardly Dr. Wu has made an appearance in this comic book. He's behind giving young Fred the evil hand. Young Fred's all happy. He has the evil hand that can take down guard dogs, the evil hand that will spy for him, the evil hand he will use to get his vengeance on Becky Lynch. That's right, Becky Lynch is on to him. Becky Lynch find out he's controlling the creepy hand that killed the dog guards, the creepy hand that tried to get her. Becky pleading with him, please, Fred, don't put the creepy hand on me. Fred's like, oh, no, you're going down. I command the hand. The hand go after Becky Lynch. The hand grab Becky by the throat. The hand end Becky Lynch's nightmare existence. And then the hand crawl back home to Fred and say, I am the thing from the Addams Family. That's right, it's the Fred from the Addams Family right there. It's the thing. Now you know the origin of Thing from the Addams Family. And this was 5 seconds before Satan showed up and put Thing on him. Now the only thing left was Thing walking around looking for a home. The nightmarish end of a horrible story. It's the Inquisition. What a show, the Inquisition. Man, oh no, it's the Inquisition. Hey, we get the Pit and the Pendulum next. Well, we get a couple of pages of the Pit and the Pendulum. Some of the worst scenes from the movie. Probably it's Nightmare Number 2, Fall 1952, by Everett Raymond Kinsler. For Ziff Davis. And I don't know who none of this is. I need Chance from the Nostalgic Pod Blast to tell me who all these guys are. I really do. Well, anyway, it's the Pit and the Pendulum. And if you've seen the movie with Vincent Price, you probably know what's going on. If I knew the Pit and the Pendulum was going to be in this comic book last night when I picked it and didn't read it till this morning, I would have definitely watched the Vincent Price movie Pit and the Pendulum back to know why this guy's being all chained up in the dungeon, why this guy dressed like Robin Hood and leotards, men in tights, is getting tortured. I don't really remember the Pit and the Pendulum. Do you remember the Pit and the Pendulum real well? Well, anyway, you get the famous scene from the Pit and the Pendulum, and I remember this scene where the thing's swinging at the guy, and he's going to get cut in half, but he gets rescued at the last minute. You know, I thought in the movie some chick rescued the guy who was about to get all whacked up, but in this movie the rats eat him free. And then he breaks free from his straps. He runs around the castle looking for the guy that he don't find. And then when he finally finds the guy, he gets down on his knees and blows him. What? No, he gets down and bows to him, and the end, and the Pit and the Pendulum. And if you're going to do the Pit and the Pendulum, you should start from the beginning, do a whole comic book about it, and not just break off in the middle for 3 pages. And I kind of think that sucks, and I think it just threw it in here for space filler. So in Full Panels, brought to you by the Daily Dan blog, we get Happily Dead. And of all the stories in this book, Happily Dead, Mysteries Weird and Strange #8 from July 1954, another artist unknown from Superior Comics. You know what artist is unknown? Because nobody gonna claim this piece of beep. Look at this guy. He looked like he crawled out of the Hills Have Eyes looking for a victim. Oh my God, I hate the way that guy looks. He makes me hungry. I need to go fix breakfast when I get done with this. Anyway, this guy's happily dead. Dead? Are you crazy? That's right. This guy goes to the doctor. He ain't got a heartbeat. He finds out he's happily dead. I feel great. I'm not hungry. I don't do. But you're dead. We're going to autopsy you. No, you're not. He runs out. He freaks out. He's a dead guy, and they want to give him an autopsy, but he's happy. So, in Full Panels, brought to you one last time by the Daily Dan blog, we get Happily Dead. That's right, this is the story of the Walking Dead who's having fun. Walking Dead out there walking around, Walking Dead seeing movies, Walking Dead going to dinner with hot chicks, Walking Dead driving the car as he looks just a little worse. A little bit worse every day. Ring-a-ding-ding, the phone rings. Hey, your test results are in. You're definitely dead. Well, you better get darn call the old mortuary and start making arrangements. I'm gonna die, but I'm already dead. He goes and kisses his girl goodbye. The end. What a crappy story. Thank you so much for finishing the comic book off with that total piece of garbage. You know, the first few stories were okay. They didn't really make me sick. The last 2 stories just kind of made me want to pop my eyes out. I feel like they're space filler. I feel like they're the garbage at the end of the comic book. And this has went way too long. By the way, I really like this comic book. The pages are so thick in here, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, the pages in this comic book are the thickest I've ever seen in a comic book, ever. They're well drawn. The art's awesome in it. It's just a flashback to the stuff I loved the most back in the day. And we're going to end this off with some super cool commercials. Super cool. When I say super cool, I mean it. It's Super Weird Heroes. 328 pages of giant fun. Super crappy heroes you'd never heard of. Oh my God, I love this. I love this cover. Fiction House. New comics for the age of Maggie Lowe. What the hell? If I see this, I'll definitely pick up a copy of Voodoo Comics. Voodoo Comics. They put a spell on you, baby. And of course, the mummies are headed to the brothel. Can't go wrong when mummies go to the brothel. Look at that shiny, glary crap. And this is a contender for one of the better back covers I've seen. It's a commercial for Unsleeping Dead. Oh my God, look at that face. It's Daniela the Witch. Ah! That's my look at horror comics, number 33. From 2018, a comic book that was shockingly, surprisingly good. I liked the first few stories in it, even though the last 2 felt like space filler. The art in it's probably the best I've seen in a comic book in a long time. The cover is off the chain, can't wait to get on the wall. And you can't go wrong with any comic book featuring Robert T. Wood, Dr. Wu. In the house, and that's got to be him. You can see him in both his forms, with or without hair, in this comic book. Till next time, this is Daddy Staten on the Daily Dan blog. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that stupid little bell. And next time I do a comic book, I'll try to find one I can actually make a lot more fun of. Maybe. Anyway, till next time, blog over.